Thank you so much for taking the time this evening to connect. We're really excited to be working with USC. We want to share a little bit about Colorado in general and introduce you all to Jeffco Public Schools. My name's Emily Bickerton. I am the talent acquisition specialist for our district, and we'll just go ahead and jump right into it. So a quick overview of our district. We were established in 1950. At that time, we were actually 39 separate school districts, and we all consolidated into one. So it's a large area geographically. We cover 778 square miles. We serve 85,000 students and employ 15,000 people across our 155 schools. If you're coming from out of state and you're not really familiar with the geography out here, just a quick little map to demonstrate. So we have the Denver metro area, and Jefferson County is just going to be within this blue border. So we have kind of the western section of the city area, and then we also have some suburbs around there and a bunch of beautiful mountain space, as you can see. Taking a look at our student and staff demographics, our student demographics are outlined up top. And then looking below that, something that we'll be the first to admit is there's currently a gap between our students of color, which is at about 34%, and then our educators of color, which is only 10% right now for our educators. While we're far from having the greatest gap compared to especially some of our neighboring districts with over 50% gaps, this is still something that we're actively working on narrowing by really focusing our recruiting efforts on diversity and inclusivity. I also want to touch briefly on our district's mission, vision, and values. Our mission is to provide a quality education that prepares all children for a successful future. Our visions, the three main ones that we follow, are to celebrate our generational ties and traditions, innovation in the classroom, and transforming the student learning experience. As for our values, we value integrity, valuing people, teamwork, exemplary performance, and an entrepreneurial spirit. Something here I want to point out is this theme of forward thinking. So we talk about innovation, transformation, entrepreneurial spirit. And here at Jeffco, we do honor and celebrate our traditions, but we also are always looking to improve our processes so that we can provide the best educational experience possible for our students. So if these values are in alignment with your own values, Jeffco might be a great fit for you, which brings us to why we're here today, which is to hire the best educators. Each year, we're hiring between 400 to 500 educators, and we're recruiting all across the country. As I mentioned earlier, we've really shifted our emphasis to an extremely equitable hiring practice to really create a more diverse workforce. We offer a very competitive salary and benefits package, especially compared to some of the neighboring districts. That being said, I will also say there are certain areas in Jefferson County where you're going to have a much better cost of living than you would in downtown Denver if you're looking to move to Colorado. Also, our district is able to provide many resources, so instructional resources, technological resources, and more. I also want to talk about some of the unique opportunities that we offer in Jeffco. This includes a really wide variety of the types of schools and the learning environments. We say if you can't find your right fit within Jeffco, you might not find it anywhere. So we have urban, suburban, and rural school locations. We have traditional schools, but we also have international baccalaureate schools, option schools, alternative schools. We have 2 beautiful outdoor education labs. We have career technical education focused schools and specialty schools as well. So there's a big mix of different teaching experiences that you can have here. We also want to mention our support for new educators, especially students coming from USC would be from out of state. And I know that's a big move. We want to highlight some of the supports we're able to offer to you. First of all, being an induction process for teachers that are new to the profession. We offer orientation for all of our new teachers, And something I want to highlight is our support during the licensure process for in-state and out-of-state candidates. I understand there might be a lot of stress around obtaining a Colorado teaching license if you've gone through a program in another state. But in most cases, it's actually going to be a fairly simple process to transition, and members of our team will be able to direct you to the right places if you've accepted a position in our district. So it's a pretty painless process, and we can talk a little bit more about that later. We offer mentoring for our new teachers, and we have a really strong support network for our candidates of color. And we offer ongoing professional development throughout your entire career as an educator. We're going to have courses and different opportunities for you to continue to grow in your profession. So we've been working with your career services team at USC and brainstorming different ways that we can support you as you begin navigating your career search process, whether or not you're planning to move to Colorado. We're looking forward to working with you all. So we are excited to offer down the line workshops. This goes over cover letter writing, resume writing, interview skills, career fair preparation. We even have a couple of educators on our team that have gone over classroom management. We know that your career services team is great at putting this information together for you all. We are happy to share the employer perspective, so we can tell you when we're getting in applications, when we're interviewing candidates, what are the specific look-fors that we are searching for to determine the best fit for our district and our schools. Another opportunity is cover letter and resume critiques with individualized feedback to really let you know what you could change. Also offering interviewing practice and mock interviews, and then applicant screening with formal interview opportunities. So before we conclude and go into the questions, I just want to wish you all the best of luck. Thank you for joining such an important profession as education. We invite you to come to Colorado, and we encourage you to reach out to myself or Phil Bedford as our Director of Talent Acquisition if you have any questions. And we would also like to invite you to visit our website to view the Living and Working in Jeffco guide, so that you can learn a little bit more. There are financial resources, childcare resources, community resources, just if you're planning to move to Colorado, a good place to start with any questions you may have. So I'd love to open it up to any questions you have at this time.
Thank you very much, Emily. This was great information about all the resources that's available for out-of-state candidates. However, I want to learn a little bit more about your application process and how the interview process and offer goes. If you can elaborate a little bit on that and the timeline, like approximate timeline from application to receive an offer, and that would be great.
Great. So as we kind of mentioned, we have a very large district. So something that we do is we really empower each of our schools to go through the hiring process. They have a little bit of their own flavor in each school. So it's going to look a little bit different in that way. But I will say we definitely have a timeline during which we are hiring that it looks a little more consistent. So during the school year, it's going to be a very quick turnaround because we're trying to get a teacher back in the classroom as soon as possible. Other than that, our time frame is normally interviewing, getting candidates, getting job postings out there and starting interviews with candidates in around March. And then throughout that process, a job is going to be posted for about a week. They should be interviewing within about a week from there, and then another week until a decision is made. So fairly quick turnaround time.
Great. And another question that I have is about our specific MAT students. So these are master's teachers, and they have gone through already a classroom teaching. So they are not necessarily new teachers, new to classroom. However, they are new to the licensure process to Colorado. Can you elaborate a little bit how their process would work out? Would they be able to start teaching since they are familiar with the classroom, or they don't have a license. So a little bit of clarity on that would be great also.
Definitely, that's a great question. So for their circumstances, I would recommend going through continuing. I believe part of your program is that they get the California teaching license by the end of their program through USC. Perfect. As long as you have that California teaching license, once you come to Colorado, it's as quick as getting an interim license. So that's going to cover you for a year. During which time you can review any other requirements you'll need to get your initial license, which is a 3-year license, or if you're a master's level student, you may be able to skip and get your 5-year professional license. That would also determine whether or not you need to go through induction with our district. But either way, we're not going to have you go through student teaching again or anything like that. If you're licensed out of state, we're able to get you going immediately under that interim license. It's a very quick process.
Okay, great. Thank you for clarifying that.
Do you have any other questions?
Just one other question. Like, if you want to identify a successful or a good fit or a good candidate for your district, or people who have done really well within your district, can you give me a couple of identifiable features or qualifications that are helpful for candidates to have, that it's unique to your district or unique to your students' demographics?
Definitely. I think really the one word that we're always looking for in interviews and resumes, cover letters, is passion. So if you have this energy and you really want to be teaching, you want to be a part of Colorado, you want to be a part of our district, that shows. It's something that you can't really put into words, but you can tell when a candidate has it. That's the energy that we have here in Jeffco. That's the energy we want in our educators. So if you feel passionate about teaching, just be expressive about that. That's something you can't learn. You can learn different teaching methods. If you're a new teacher, you can learn a lot of different things, but I think passion is something very identifiable about our district that we look for in all of our candidates.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, Emily. I really appreciate your time and the wonderful presentation about Colorado and the district.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, and have a great day.
You too.